And now I'm pleased to introduce Dr. Eric Hu, an Executive Vice President of Global R&D and Chief Medical Officer at Teva Pharmaceuticals. Dr. Hu will discuss Teva's innovative drug development transformation under their new growth strategy. Here is his pre-recorded interview.
Hi, I'm Eric Hughes. I'm the head of R&D at Teva and the CMO. I'm very excited to be here today to talk to this great group of scientists and clinicians about drug development going on at Teva. So thank you for having me. You know, one thing about Teva, and I love being the CMO at Teva, is that it allows me to use my passion for drug development to really drive my purpose for developing drugs for patients and change the practice of medicine. It really is the purpose I've found in my life, and I'm very excited to be able to enjoy that and share that with the people at Teva. So thank you for having me today. It's the culture that drives our drug development and will really bring Teva into the future as we step up in innovation and really drive our pivot to growth. That culture is very important. You know, in the Israeli ecosystem, our team has shown how great the culture is. You know, since October 7th, in these impossible circumstances, our people at Teva have stepped up and not have missed a beat in the work they do every day. Because I know the folks at Teva, as well as I, you know, our mission is to help people and to relieve pain and suffering every day. So I'm really proud of the folks who have really been striving through these difficult times, and I just want to thank them all for being great ambassadors for the work we do. But moving on to how we're really changing and innovating at Teva. You know, we have a growth plan at Teva that we started last year. It's our pivot to growth strategy. It really has these 4 pillars that you see on the screen here that really drive our plan. First, we have to deliver on our growth engines. We have great products in line in the market today, including Austedo, Ajovy, and Uzedy. Great products that we're going to grow into the future. This is on top of our great generics and biosimilars pipeline. We are going to step up in innovation. I'm very excited by the history of innovation at Teva and the great products we have in our pipeline, which I'll talk about a little bit more today. We will always be, and we are working on sustaining our generics powerhouse. We provide over 200 million people generic medicines every day. The entire healthcare system is really built upon the power of generics, and I am very proud of the history at Teva and what we do every day to relieve pain and suffering across the world. We'll also focus our business. We are going to make sure we focus on those value-added programs, make sure each of our functions are self-sustaining and profitable at the company. So we're really looking forward to all 4 of these pillars and our pivot to growth to kick in and have a great future for Teva. But I'm going to talk a little bit today about, you know, what are we doing in the global R&D group to really drive this pivot to growth. Really, the ambition and the future of Teva really is born in our research and development. We're a large organization. We have over 3,700 employees in the group. This spans 17 countries in 6 R&D hubs. One of those most important hubs is in Israel. You know, we have 11 assets in our innovative pipeline, 16 assets in our biosimilars, and we have over 1,000 generics products going on each and every day. So it's a very large organization, and the power of this group to change the practice of medicine is I take great pride in it, and sometimes overwhelming. But it really is a wonderful place to really drive innovation and to help people around the world. Great power in this organization. Now, when it comes to our R&D organization, how we're pivoting to growth and how we are actually changing the way we do business is really, it starts with culture and mindset. And it starts with how that culture and mindset drives the way we do business and how we work together as scientists and clinicians. You know, we think about what we were in the past, slightly siloed, you know, unrecognized synergies amongst our groups, and you're really a generics mindset that we can actually create a more innovative driver in the future. So that's where we were. We had a great place to start. The culture at Teva is wonderful. So what we're pivoting to in R&D is an organizational redesign. We really developed a new modern matrix within the organization. We've hired and promoted top talent within the organization. We've focused on the growth drivers, and we're looking to transform these groups into high-performing teams. These aren't just words. These are things that are necessities when it comes to drug development. Because I like to remind everyone that drug development is a very complex endeavor. It takes input from many different specialties and expertise. So learning that mindset of collaboration and matrix organization is critical to such a complex process. So what are the underpinnings of how you drive a culture and a high-performing mindset? Well, first and foremost, we have to have celebrate our common purpose. I talk about my passion for drug development, and the reason I use that passion to drive my purpose to help patients. That is a common goal that we have at Teva, and that's what we should reward and celebrate. You know, how do we create this? We have to have strategies. We have to listen to people. We have to understand what the unmet medical needs are to co-create. I always say at the base of every scientist and clinician is a need to create and be creative. You know, we have to lead with simple processes that actually take in everyone's input. And then we have to work together with an enterprise mindset. It takes many different aspects of the drug development process to make a good plan. And we have to be able to learn, listen, and really decide together with an enterprise mindset for the best of Teva and our patients. So one of the simple things we needed to do when I first started at Teva is to have a modern drug development matrix system. And this is just a simple illustration of what that is. We have generics, we have biosimilars, and innovative strategic organizations. But those are all supported by a common functional system, including safety, regulatory, early and late development, clinical operations, medical affairs, all our CMC groups, and our global program leads. This is a modern drug development matrix. And we can use the synergies across the different strategies using these functions. So this is a modern system. This is a system that will drive this complex process we call drug development, and also embodies and illustrates the mindset of a matrix in which all groups work together, not one group being more important than the other, but all working together in a balanced matrix. So it's the culture that drives this system underneath. So how do you think about that from the individual to the enterprise? You know, first and foremost, it's very important on the individual level to have all people be psychologically safe, as we say. That is, to be in an environment where not only are people encouraged to give their input, but they realize that it's a necessity that all people are free to give their input from very diverse backgrounds, very diverse functions. So that's critical in the understanding of the balanced matrix. It's when those people are safe and are willing and enabled to give their input, that's when the teams work very well together. And we get input from everyone. We get a good program that has a good strategic goal to bring a product forward. So the teams then work better. When you have high-performing teams, then on an organizational level, those teams can then make an enterprise mindset judgment. That is, what is best for patients? Where should we be putting our resources? And where should we be putting our efforts to make sure that we bring the most valuable products forward for the highest unmet needs for patients? So this is the mindset from the individual all the way up to the organization within a balanced matrix. Now, we can't do it all alone, and that's, I think, one of the most important reasons we're here at the meeting today with all these scientists and physicians and people working together on various different technologies to bring drug development forward more efficiently. So we have many different academic collaborations around the world, you know, not only in the US, but all across the world. And those collaborations really are a source of not only academic interest and scientific understanding, but it's also fertile ground for generating new products and programs within Teva. It's these collaborations that are critical. We actually do particularly well, we believe, in Israel. We find that the Israeli ecosystem is critical to the Teva mission. We have over 30 strategic partnerships. We have students active in our Bio-Innovators program. We work with government grants and programs. We have many different collaborations going on. And really, this is one of our greatest strengths at Teva, is tapping into the Israeli ecosystem and the collaborations that we can drive. Beyond that, we are involved in 8 different consortia across the world. IMI is one of them. These are incredibly important programs where we can collaborate with governments, scientists, and other drug development organizations to bring programs forward in a collaborative way, because guidelines and regulations are particularly important for our business. So Teva can't do this alone. We need to interact and broaden our scientific reach and collaborate with people around the world. But I'm very excited about the innovative portfolio at Teva. You can see here we have programs in the innovative pipeline, not only from the preclinical, but all the way through phase 1, 2, and 3. And I'll just highlight a couple of these today. You know, in phase 3, we have a olanzapine long-acting injectable. This is actually a very important program, building upon the formulation technology that Teva does so well. Creating a long-acting anti-schizophrenic medication with olanzapine is a high unmet medical need. Schizophrenic patients can do better if they have a drug that maintains exposure in their system over time. And it's this hope that we decrease relapse, decrease hospitalizations, and actually slow the progression of their disease and even halt it in some cases. That's a goal and a very important thing for patients. We also have a very complex ICS-SABA program. This is a dual inhaler. It's a combination product. Very difficult to develop, but very important for the tens of millions of people with asthma around the world. You know, the guidelines are changing, and the use of both a rescue inhaler with a steroid is going to be the standard in the future. And Teva is only one of 2 people who have the technology right now to have developed this combination inhaler. So we're very excited by that. And in phase 2, we're very excited about our anti-TL1A program. You've probably heard a lot about this program. This is a new treatment in development for ulcerative colitis and Crohn's disease. It's a brand new biologic class altogether, and Teva was one of the first, if not the first, to be developing an antibody for this target. We're combining our efforts with Sanofi and developing this compound as quickly as possible, but it has a really broad potential application in the future. It's almost like the days when the first anti-TNFs came out, but with a whole new MOA for it. Also, we have emerulsin. This is a small molecule we're bringing forward for multiple system atrophy. In fact, we have an orphan designation from the FDA. MSA, multiple system atrophy, is a devastating disease that leads to dementia and loss of all functional innervation, which really leads to about 50% of people passing away within 5 years of diagnosis. Devastating disease. And we hopefully have one of the first treatments there that we can actually block the formulation of these brain aggregates. Very exciting program. And just briefly, I'll mention anti-IL-15. This is a great new program that we're bringing forward in celiac disease and vitiligo, 2 high unmet medical needs, and we have a great antibody with great potency. And finally, our anti-PAR2 program in neuroscience. We're bringing that forward in both itch and atopic dermatitis. So there's a lot out there, not to only mention that we have the anti-PD-1 for oncology coming forward. So a broad spectrum of drug development in the pipeline with different levels of probability of success, but really a lot to work with. So we're very excited by these different programs. So I just wanted to be brief today, mention all the great things we have in the pipeline, how we're pivoting to growth at Teva for the future. And it starts with the extraordinary outcomes with people and their passion and culture that drive the system. You know, it's the innovation that happens at these crossroads and, you know, the creativity and the fun of drug development. And finally, it's the vision that makes all this possible. I'm very excited for the future of Teva, and I thank you for having me talk with you today.